Next, seller's disclosure statement. If you're ever wondering whether or not this needs to be done, just keep in mind that it is on all 1 to 4 family residential properties. 1 to 4 family residential properties. So that by itself tells you who's excluded. Now there are some others, but guys, just if you'll take and read the information that's at the top of this, it pretty much clarifies who must not, but it is the 1 to 4 family residential units. New construction does not have to. And I'll introduce to you an exemption form. If anybody says, I'm exempt, we'll have a form that will state why they are exempt. Okay? But let's cover this really quickly, because the reality is we know we don't want to complete this. This is to be completed by the seller. In bold print, I want you to catch a couple of things here. This information is a disclosure only and is not intended to be a part of any contract between the buyer or seller. Because it's saying, as a seller, I'm not a plumber, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a licensed contractor, I'm not a licensed anything. All I know is I go over to that little thing on the wall and I make an adjustment and the temperature changes in my house. Okay, I flick a light switch, the lights come on, I flick it the other way, they go off. So a seller is simply disclosing from an aspect of what they know. It also says unknown failure to provide a purchaser with a signed disclosure statement will enable a purchaser to terminate an otherwise binding purchase agreement. It's a disclosure, so if anybody says, well, I don't want to do that, point this statement out. All caps, hits it very, very cleanly. Now, one last thing that I want you to know, because this is, oddly enough, it's not commonly known among experienced, productive agents. I just want to step back and read this right here. Appliances, systems, and services. The items below are in working order. The items listed below are included in the sale of the property only if the purchase agreement so provides. Guys, this is the part I want you to catch. The items listed below are included in the sale of the property only if the purchase agreement so provides. If it's not on the purchase agreement, it doesn't matter that they disclosed here. And you will have agents who will state, but yes, they were on the seller's disclosure statement. So what? This is not part of the contract. It needs to be addressed on the purchase agreement. What can I give you beyond that? Hand it to the seller. Seller, matter of fact, let me give you my lines that I give to the seller when I have them to disclose this. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is required by the state of Michigan that you are mandated to provide a disclosure as to your knowledge of these issues on the property. It says and acknowledges that you are not a licensed contractor, electrician, plumber, or anything else that goes along with it. It says you're a homeowner and here's what you know. As you check this off, you're going to look at it. Yes, it works. No, it does not work. I don't know if it works, or it's not even available. Now, as you go to fill this out, I want you to be careful and make sure that you click, yes, it works, yes, it works, yes, it works. Well, that's not available. It's over here. A lot of people will collect or click, check, no. If it's not there, it's not available. No is, no, it doesn't work. Otherwise, yes, there is a hood fan, but no, it does not work. So it's, yes, it works, no, it doesn't, I don't know if it works, or it's not available. And oh, by the way, the last thing I would kind of give them guidance on is this. If you find yourself going, I think, or gee, when I closed it down, it worked, well, do you know if it works now? Or do you know it doesn't work? When you can say yes or no, that would be the best response. But if you're going, I think, what might be the best response? And that is unknown. From there, it is the basement, and I want to highlight this simply. It asked the seller, has there been evidence of water? That's the simple question. Don't complicate that. It doesn't say, has there been a source of water, evidence of water that has come from the outside due to rainwater or high water table? It doesn't say that. So the key here is disclose, disclose, disclose. If they had a water pipe burst and they repaired the entire basement, they might be better off to say, yes, there was evidence of water. We had a pipe burst, the real estate or the insurance company came in, took care of everything, life is good. It's better to put that down than to leave that out. Insulation, describe if known. Well, is there urea formaldehyde? Here, I can't even say it, let alone know whether or not it exists in a home. So, again, seller goes, well, I don't know. Well, then what's your answer? Just ask the question. So if you don't know, what is your answer? Oh, that's unknown. Roof. Guys, keep this one simple. Because they're going to ask you, and we've got to take a look at this and just go, well, what's the question? It says roof. Leaks? It's a question. Are there leaks? Now, approximate age of the roof if known. But the question is, yes, there's leaks. No, there's no leaks. They should pretty much know whether or not they exist or if they've hidden anything. But what's the approximate age? But it says leaks. Make sure that they disclose, disclose, disclose. The well, the type, the diameter, if they have knowledge of it. Look, there's a lot of people, they don't know. Has the water been tested? Yes or no? If so, what were the results and when was that done? You've got initials at the bottom of the page. Septic tanks, drain fields, what's the condition? If they know, and keep it simple. They say, well, how do I respond to that? Well, do you know the condition of it? Well, it works. I've never had any issue. I've had it pumped. Well, why don't you put it down? You had it pumped back on. Heating system, type and approximate age. It's exactly what it says. What is the type? What's the approximate age? Plumbing. Copper, galvanized, is it other? Do you have any known problems with any of the plumbing? And by the way, if they don't know, they just leave this unchecked because they don't know. Might be a mix. Electrical system, are there any known problems? They go, well, what's the electrical system? Look, anywhere where electric runs through a bunch of wires and makes the lights come on and off or makes things fire up, do you have any known problems with any of that electrical system? This is one that gets a little sticky. It's history of infestation. It gives them an interpretation of what we're talking about are bugs. Well, this is not talking about bugs by itself. Is there, well, let's take the bold. History of infestation. Could squirrels in the attic be an infestation? Could birds or bats be an infestation? So as you guide them, you might want to just throw out those additional hints that go beyond termites and carpenter ants. Address it so there's not a surprise that comes up later. Environmental problems, are you aware of any? Look, it gives some examples. But when in doubt, disclose, disclose, disclose. And I'll tell you, they say, well, I mean, I don't know of any. Well, does that mean there might be some? Well, I don't know. I'm not leading them, but what are they saying? Flood insurance? I don't have any, but do I know that it's not, well, no, it says. Matter of fact, we can actually read this directly. Do you have flood insurance on the property? Most people know if they've got flood insurance. It costs them. Do you own mineral rights? I can tell you most of the people have no idea. Matter of fact, most of the listings you're going to deal with, most of people in our company, you're not going to have to deal with mineral rights, but if they have acreage, they might or may not have mineral rights. That's a long story in its own right. Features, properties, I think the rest of this, let me just scan very quickly, is all pretty much self-explanatory. Guide them. Farm or farm operation in the vicinity or proximity to landfill, airport, shooting range, etc. What is in the vicinity or proximity? When in doubt, disclose, disclose, disclose. Most of this is pretty simple. Again, simple. I'm going to leave it with that. Seller's sign, we post these to the MLS. We get an offer. Buyer will have signed. Keeping it simple, guys. That is the seller's disclosure statement. As always, go talk to people or do the things to just get people who will call and talk to you. They both work. One's better than the other. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.